Hi Aries, welcome to your, oh my god, it's already November, or it's going to be November soon. This is your November 2017 overview reading. I'm just going to do a fat Celtic cross today, and so we can go ahead and get started. As usual, if you want to work with me one-on-one and get a reading done, go ahead. I'll put the link below so you can sign up for a session. Let's see what else is going on. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Okay, so the rituals that I've been putting up on my blog, make sure you go check those out. I'm doing one every day of October. So if you're interested in that, make sure that you go check out that blog series. Okay. All right. So I'll pull the other cards, but I'll just go ahead and do the Doreen Virtue, Angels of Abundance. Pull one of those. That one wants to come up. Okay. Declutter. You'll feel better and more focused if you take the time to clear away clutter from your living and workspace. Donate what you can to help others who may need your items, and be sure to keep your schedule uncluttered as well. Okay, so make this a fall cleaning time. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and just add some clarifiers for each card, with the exception of the core of the spread. And let me know if you guys want, sorry, I am so scattered and rambly today. This is not normally me. But if you guys like when I do the timelines, make sure that you let me know in the comment section. Otherwise, I'm going to keep mixing it up each month. I should probably pick something consistent and just stick with it, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to try to keep it as fresh as possible unless there's like a unanimous, this is what we want. Okay. And then I'll do a couple 3-card picks at the end. Okay, so I know this looks messy right now, but at the core or the base of this spread, what's happening in present time, we have the 7 of Swords. Okay, so there's something about the way you're handling a situation or something that you're navigating, and it's requiring a lot of time, energy, you know, your mental energy needs to be put towards that. So it just looks like there's a particular situation that's kind of coming to the forefront, whether it's work or something that you're navigating. So it does look like it's a little bit of turbulence in terms of you working things out. So the situation is one that demands you to figure things out for yourself and just kind of get clarity around what you are doing to approach the situation. So the challenge or the crossing card is the 9 of Swords. So we have some fear that things aren't going to work out, a little bit of anxiety coming through in terms of, well, what if my worst case scenario happens, which is why you're so focused on, I need to navigate the situation the right way. Okay, so let's see what's going on in the past. We have the Son of Swords. Okay, there's a lot of air in this spread already. So this is either a person or more like juvenile thought forms that are leaving your life. Let's see what's clarifying that. We have the 4 of Cups and the World. So it looks like there's something about the completion of a cycle that you just weren't receptive to. So what I see is like the offers being rejected, and it was potentially from a situation that could have come full circle, but it just got shut down. So make sure that, you know, you're not getting too caught up in this stuff. I'm not even going to read too deeply into this because it kind of, I'm just getting a message like, let it be. Let sleeping dogs lie, leave it in the past, just, you know, kind of push it out of your space as much as you can. So that's the big thing that's coming up here. Whether this be a person or yourself, it just looks like leave it alone, move on. Because this, you focusing on things not going the way you wanted it to, that's what's causing the fear, having to navigate. So it looks like you're really going to need to put yourself in a position where you're looking ahead rather than dwelling on the past this month. Okay, so then what we have coming up in the future, Father of Wands. So this is you getting back to normal. You're stepping into yourself and just really comfortable and confident with your next steps. And we also have the Eight of Cups and the Ace of Rods. So now and this looks like what you're leaving behind. Okay, so you're walking away from all of the stuff that is kind of clouding up your thinking, and you're just like, you have a firm grasp on your next steps. So it just looks like you're just in a little bit of turbulence. This is the process of you figuring things out and pushing forward in a direction that feels in alignment with you. And you come back into, okay, I feel like myself again. So this is temporary. This is just, you're going to get to the place where you're more comfortable with yourself, confident in yourself, all of that good stuff. So just bear with this. It's going to transform. Just be gentle with yourself in the process. Okay, and so this is what you want for this month, kind of like your goal. Ace of Swords. Okay, so you want to kind of turn over a new leaf. Because this is the beginning, the fresh, rejuvenated energy, and a lot of this is kind of like at the end of a cycle. But it's kind of like you just want to start over. That's the energy that's coming through really strong. The clarifiers, we have Temperance and the Page of Cups. So it looks like you're really looking to achieve balance, especially because it's kind of like you're coming out of this Page of Swords and into a Page of Cups. So there is definitely a need for you to balance the emotional and rational parts of yourself. If you look at the extreme versions of the of Cups and Swords, it's like Cups is extreme emotionality and Swords is extreme rationality. And it looks like you're really trying to strike a balance between your emotions and rationality when it comes to how you approach different situations. And that's where the navigation is coming in this month. Beneath the surface and the subconscious, we have the Tower. This is deep internal transformation, completely, turning things over, resolving circumstances in the past that have brought you maybe some grief, pain, frustration. And the clarifiers, we have the Knight of Swords and Justice. So again, this is, what is your approach? How are you achieving balance? How are you being fair to yourself and others? There's serious reevaluation going on, and it's kind of like the reason why you have so many swords coming up is simply because there's a huge upheaval in your ways of thinking. We have all these swords cards coming up, and then there is a certain level of evaluation within your emotional state that is coming to the surface. So it's just like you're going to be doing some heavy lifting. Make sure that you're paying attention to your own astrology this month. It might help you to get a little bit of guidance on how you're going to navigate this. And just where these transformations are happening. We have Jupiter shifting into Scorpio, so make sure you check out like where is that happening, because that might be in a significant part of your chart. This is for Sun, Moon, and Rising signs, but if you you know, just the message is pay attention to the astrology. Sorry I'm so rambly today. I'm not sure what's going on. But yes, pay attention to the astrology so that you can better cope with this is the message I'm getting. Okay, so the advice for you, the Lovers. So this doesn't really, whether or not you have a partner isn't really relevant. This is about call on your support system, and that could easily be a partner. If it's not a partner, then this is friends, this is family that you're able to connect with. Make sure that you are calling for help, you know, use your lifelines. That's the message here. And then we also have Wheel of Fortune and the Page of Pentacles. So there is a new beginning on the horizon, but it could go any which way. So there's not a lot of control over what happens. And so as you go through this unpredictable time, the message is go with the flow, ask for support. You are in the middle of a transformation, and that's okay. Just make sure you're, you know, asking for help when you need it. Okay, and then we have the external environment. We have Five of Cups. So this transformation is not comfortable. You know, there is some disappointment. Oh, things aren't working my way. Things aren't going the way that I had envisioned in my mind for this perfect picture of my expectations. So it just looks like that's a part of the process. It's going to be okay. You know, that none of this looks incredibly, you know, life altering. I wouldn't say, like, I'm not predicting some huge traumatic event. What this is just about your internal transformation. And so when there are things around you that aren't going your way, it really calls you to show up for yourself in the best way that you can. The clarifiers are the Ace of Swords and the Seven of Coins. So you're working really hard at trying to, we have the appearance of the Ace of Swords twice now. So you're trying really hard to make this new beginning ideal for yourself, and just kind of, you know, fitting it into how you want things to go and happen. So it kind of is urging you to, you know, let go a little bit, let go, relax, take your hands off of the reins, you know, just back off and focus on yourself, and allow yourself, give yourself permission to feel. Okay, so it looks like you're kind of working hard at planting seeds all over the place, really focusing on that new beginning, that transformation. And so what I'm suggesting is that you just kind of roll with it, and you understand that it is going to happen, and you don't need to force it. It's going to naturally happen or organically happen on its own accord. Okay, so then we have your hopes and fears. 10 of Cups. So it's funny because it's like, yeah, there's this perfect picture, but then the fear can also be either the fear of success, which is really common. Like, what if this actually works? What if this actually does go better than I imagined? That's really common to see with people. Like, oh, what if it is sunshine and rainbows this time? What would I even do with myself without the drama? So the clarifiers, we have the Devil and the King of Pentacles. So you are confronting some, it's kind of like the hope and the fear. The hope is that you come out on top, and the fear is that you're confronted by, you know, old demons, so to speak. And so because of that, it's like attitude makes a big difference. So please remember that it is the perspective. If you're having a really hard time, then what I would say is hold on to the possibility that you don't know what's going to happen in 6 months. You don't know what your life has in store for the good and the bad, and there's a good reason for that. So just hold on, keep the faith, keep holding on to your vision. You know, don't give up on your ideal circumstances, but sometimes adjusting your expectations for how you process things is absolutely necessary. Okay, so the outcome, we have Justice. So it looks like you do achieve balance, and this is interesting because if you see in this Justice card that I pulled earlier, see how the scales are unbalanced? Here they're even. So it's the yin and the yang energy that's coming through, the one eye open, the one eye shut. The achievement of balance is really shining through on this. So just keep it up. You are going to be in a more stable position at the end of the month. It just looks like that you're navigating a lot. You're navigating a lot internally as well as environmentally, where you kind of have to actively work on what you're creating for yourself. And so the clarifiers, Strength and the Hermit. Okay, so there's definitely a need. It's kind of like, okay, this might not happen for you because you're not taking care of yourself, which I always see the Hermit as you need to retreat, reflect, focus on yourself, turn inward, become introspective, focus on yourself, as well as persevere and ask for support. The key to balance is to getting both of those things. Being able to look at yourself clearly and just own who you are for the good, the bad, and the ugly, as well as knowing when to ask for support, knowing when you're having a hard time and needing help. If you do both of those things, you can totally achieve balance. But if one of these is out of the, is not in the mix, then it's kind of gonna throw you off for the next month, or this process of you kind of turning a new leaf is going to take a lot longer. So make sure that you are doing your best to take advantage of what you're able to cultivate as far as taking time for yourself. Like if you can just do the best you can with what you have, then there's not a lot of room to bully yourself, even though people do it. So do the best you can without giving it so much effort that you burn yourself out. And I know that that's kind of like, do this, but don't do this. So I understand that it can be frustrating, but that is what I have for you this month. And now I'm doing a 3-card pick. If you want to designate the Tarot of Sexual Magic cards to be your like romance cards, you can, but it's not necessarily, you don't have to. And then I also have, for this, it'll be a growth period card. I tend to like pulling growth period cards with this Oracle deck. So go ahead and pick a set of cards that's calling to you, and this will just be some extra messages that are coming through for you this month. Okay, so card number 1, we have 2 of Wands, collaborating, creating, making a decision on something. It's kind of like you're sitting at the table planning out your next steps. Whether this is in a relationship or perhaps a professional relationship, where it's just like, okay, let's come together, problem solve, figure this out, and then go from there. Your growth period is abundance. So this is transforming your mindset from a state of lack into a state of plenty. And so that's the main message. The lesson for you this month is about shifting that scarcity out of your space and doing things that are more in alignment with you so that you can really attract the resources that you need. Okay, spread 2, we have the World. So this is where you truly do get the completion of a cycle that you're looking for, that you may have been wanting for a really long time, whether that be in partnership or personally. So make sure that you are just honoring your process as this cycle transforms, as you kind of turn that new leaf and shift into other things. In your growth period, solar plexus chakra, make sure you're setting the necessary boundaries. There can be a lot to learn from your own sensuality this month, from your own connection to your physical experiences and making sure that you are saying no. This is one of the biggest things that I work with people on, especially if you've worked with me in the past or if you've had a session with me. It comes up all the time. When you're dealing with the second chakra, almost always boundaries will come up. So make sure that you are honoring and respecting your desires to say yes or no, and that you're listening to your body. Okay, spread number 3, we have the Hierophant. So rules are really important, structures, institutions are really important. Maybe you're online dating, or maybe you're making a decision to take the relationship to the next level, whatever that is. And so it just looks like school kind of comes to the forefront, work comes to the forefront, organizations come to the forefront. And so it's all about just following a certain set of social structures that are in place, and you kind of needing to step into those and respect the kind of how things are done. This doesn't look like your normal state. It just looks like this is something that organically happens for you, where you have more of an appreciation for structure. And the growth period is the heart. Honoring your heart space, making sure that you are taking time to connect with others, to be honest and kind, be playful. It just looks like there's a certain level of lightening your heart that you really need. So I feel like there's something else coming through for this. It's so bizarre. It's something about the thing that this really shows is that there's a need for balance between work and play. So if you have this, if you picked this spread, it's really about the Justice card. The Justice card is the focal point for you in this reading. So make sure that you're figuring out how to strike a balance between work and play, that you're being gentle with yourself, that you're allowing yourself to experiment. Okay, and that is all I have for you today. Make sure you check out the description box. I have all the links if you want a single question reading, if you want to book a session with me, do some energetic work with me. Check all of that out. If you want to sign up for my newsletter, you'll get a free solar year reading during your birthday month, not immediately. And anyway, that's all I have for you. Make sure you go check out my 31 days of rituals on my blog. The description box has the link for that as well. And I will see you next month. Have an awesome November, Aries. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. See you later. Bye.